You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Dallas After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Dallas After Show.
I love that sound.
Makes me so happy.
Oh,
so excited.
That sound makes me happy. You ladies make me happy. The show makes me happy, you guys. Welcome back. This is the AFTERBUZZ TV after show for Dallas. This is season 3, episode 1, The Return. I'm your host, AJ Gibson, joined as always by the lovely Dorinda Barker and Kellie Olisky. How are you?
Hi, guys.
Fabulous.
I haven't seen your faces since Dallas season 2 ended, I think. But good to be back together.
Yes, yes. The band's back together again.
Yes.
I look forward to this. This is one of the reasons why I still do this. Is because of you guys.
I haven't been at the AFTERBUZZ studios since August. How terrible is that? I know I didn't do a show this fall, so I've been waiting for this. And if I melt under the table midway through the show, I'm sorry, it's hot as F in here. But I look cute. I've got a sweater on. I've got layers tonight.
Everything.
I have running shoes on my bow tie, like little high tops. Yeah.
Those are cute.
I wish they were cowboy boots, but they're not.
Yeah. No, I had to go with my Longhorn. I just left Dallas like 2 hours ago.
I know,
Just
right?
got back from Dallas, actually.
You just left Dallas, and you just ran into Josh Henderson.
I
Let's
did.
talk about that real quickly. Where did this happen?
I was sitting at the bus stop.
And he was hanging out there? I know that's where the story's going.
He just happened to be there.
Okay.
Having a conversation. No, I didn't realize I was sitting on him. Where's the picture?
It happens to the best of us.
I thought this was pretty awesome. I don't know if you can even pull it up. You probably can't.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Will you retweet it?
Yeah.
We'll retweet it again tonight, you guys.
We'll tweet it tonight, but it's hysterical. And I tagged him in it too.
Well, of
so
course you did.
he's going to be like, who is this freak?
Well, we have a big season planned, you guys. We're trying to get Josh Henderson in here. My good friend Andrea is dating him right now. So she promises me she can make that happen. So if you're watching, I'm going to hold you to that. Also, we've got some connections to Jesse Metcalf, I hear. I've got a connection to Julie Gonzalo. So we're going to work on some things this season.
Yes.
And there's always room for Charlene Tilton.
Oh, and there's always, and a dream list. We got to get Linda Gray.
Oh, yes, please.
I
still have a picture of a headshot I took at a car wash in West Hollywood 2 seasons ago. Remember that?
Yes,
Because Linda Gray was supposed to come in with Josh Henderson and Larry Hagman at the end of season 1, and then Larry Hagman got sick, and I'm like, I'm gonna hold on to this. I still have it in my phone. I'm gonna show it to her one of these days. It was from 1982. So let's dig into the show, you guys. The show picks up 12 hours later. 12 hours after the last episode. Yeah, which
Picks right up.
which is
pretty cool.
Which I liked. They didn't spread that time out, which was awesome.
Somehow John Ross and Christopher both look like they spent about 6 months at the gym in those 12 hours. But things are getting spicy this season. It starts off with Bobby out at the cemetery in Southfork, and he's talking to Miss Ellie, and he says to her, "I'm the only one left, and I'll try not to disappoint you," which I think is great. I love that this show always gives nods to the legacy characters of the past, and
they showed the headstones and everything, and he said he's going to be the
It's interesting.
the caretaker now.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, it's interesting that he says that I'm the only one left, and then the show very quickly goes into the show got younger this season. I feel like they're really delving into the lives of all the younger actors as opposed to leaning, because they really leaned on Larry and Bobby. Larry, I say the first, the real names. They really leaned on JR and Bobby and Sue Ellen in the first couple of seasons. And this season, it looks like they're trying to maybe get away from that a little bit.
Which I can understand, because now that, unfortunately, JR is gone, and what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Because then, Bobby doesn't have, the Cain and Abel. He doesn't have, his JR's sidekick, because Bobby was always the sidekick.
Yeah.
But they don't have each other anymore. So who's Bobby going to play off?
Yeah.
And so, not to bring it down or the first 5 minutes, but bringing in the younger ones, I think they've been prepping them for it, which is great. And that's what I like with these writers. Are, I mean, we haven't seen the rest of the season. It's only the first episode. But what they did last season and the season before.
The show gets better and better. Yeah. And these younger characters, I think Josh Henderson in particular, he's really stepped up to the plate. Yeah. He opens this scene, his first scene with Emma Ryland in bed. This is interesting, these two. I didn't know, I knew the storyline was going to continue, but they didn't waste any time. It's obviously going to be a very prominent storyline this season. Yeah. What do you think about these two together? Oh, you girls are not fans. They're both like, no, I don't want to talk about her.
I was thinking, okay, and this is a reference to anyone who even watches Walking Dead, because she was Andrea's sister in Walking Dead. I'm like, when's a zombie just going to pop up? It's like I just hear.
Well, it's interesting because she started off as such a sweet, kind of damaged character last season. What did she come on last season? The end of season 1. Was it last season?
Last season.
Yeah, and they were really playing up the storyline between she and her mother and trying to reconnect and all of that. And now she very quickly has turned into a villain, I think.
Yeah.
She's almost like a Lucy Ewing character. She's like the young, kind of naive, kind of
yeah, but she's so much more evil, though.
Yeah, like Lucy at least had some naivete about her. She was a little naive, and there was like some spunk. Not to say that this one doesn't have spunk about her, but she's more dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is not her mother's daughter. She's her father's daughter.
Oh, she is, definitely.
Which is interesting because she went to such great lengths to put him behind bars, and she's just like him. Maybe worse.
She did that purposely.
Yeah. Well, true.
Yeah, she did. I mean, and where's the grant? I want.
I know. Where's she? Where's Judith?
Where's Judith?
Hashtag Where's Judith? And then we move on to a scene where John Ross gets JR's belt buckle, which I thought was kind of cool.
That was a little sentimental moment.
Again, the show is doing what the show does best. It's paying homage to these characters that are so legendary. Larry Hagman was voted the #1 television villain of all time, and it's something I read somewhere. I don't know. I might have made that up. No, but I did read that.
I think you're pretty
TV
much
guy. I think it was. But the show, they haven't lost sight of that. They understand how important these characters are.
And you know what I loved about that scene too? It wasn't just the belt buckle; it was Bum.
Given it to him, yes.
Yeah,
the man who killed him.
Yeah, the man, but he's still so loyal.
Yeah, his right hand man.
I need a friend like that. Do you guys have any friends like that?
Well, you know.
I do. I have one. Yeah.
You have a friend who would kill somebody for you?
I do.
I'm gonna stay away from you. You are trouble.
Do.
All right.
I am from New Jersey.
Well, there's that. Then I like how John Ross, after he's in bed with Emma, he then asked Pamela to meet him out at the old hay barn. And she asked why. He said it was the first night of the season where he could see a certain constellation.
The lovers' cross.
Yeah,
the lovers' cross.
Yeah, the stars. And then he told her, I wanted to explain to you I went down to Houston. He was gone the night before, banging Emma in a hotel in Houston.
My cousin.
Getting documents from her so that he could take over Ewing or Ryland. It's a lot of stuff going on, right? But he wasn't really down there to get to. Well, he told her he was down there to get the biggest ring in Texas. But that wasn't the case. No. But she did get the biggest ring in Texas.
That's a pretty big ring.
That's the biggest ring everywhere.
Yeah.
She's gonna have like one like Hulk-sized arm to carry that thing around, and then one skinny arm.
You're like, why is her ring finger just always like this?
It's broken. It just breaks the finger and it hangs there. It's terrible.
And he wants to give her a proper proposal in John Ross fashion.
Yeah, but then he tells her, he says, I can't promise you it's going to be easy, but I promise you I'll give you the ride of your life. And I was sitting next to Kellie, and she's just like sweating. She's like, oh, yes, please. Like all three of us were thinking the same thing.
Exactly.
I was like, wouldn't I want that life?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, love is great, you know, and marrying the nice guy, great. So we can always tell that my relationship went real well in my lifetime. But you're like,
she has daddy issues.
Ride of my life. Oh, I could do that because it'd be adventurous. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's definitely going to be an emotional adventure.
Yes. And you know, if Sue Ellen, the only person who could really relate to this is Sue Ellen. She was going through this with JR for so many years. I don't think she would have traded it in for a moment. I think she loved it. Well, she turned to the bottle a few times because of JR, but I think she loved every minute of it.
Well, and I don't think Pamela's dumb. I think she knows, or I think she has. And I think she has an inkling because when I don't know if you're ready to go into the boardroom yet, but there was a moment there. So when we talk about that, I'll
Pamela's
point it out,
confusing to me because just when she seems very just tough, she turns vulnerable again on me. And she's done that the last couple of seasons, and I never really know. I don't think we really know who the real Pamela Barnes is yet.
No.
Well, not the real Pamela Barnes, because we all know that's Victoria Principal. I'm not going to let that one die. She's coming back in season 3.
And here comes the tweets right now.
Victoria's dead, AJ. Drop it. No, she's not.
Get over it, AJ.
I will say that I've been waiting for how many months? It's been 6 months since the last episode, thinking that, okay, we go. You pulled a fast one on us. She's not dead. She's coming back. Not yet. She's going to. She's going to. Mark my words. So now let's move on. Now, John Ross wants to remodel Southfork. Right, he wants to bring things up to date. He wants an atrium. He wants a billiard room the size of a saloon. He says Bobby's not happy about that, of course, because Bobby's the new Ellie. With Ellie, he really is. He's like he said, he's the only one left, so he's got to keep things, whatever. Just funny because Bobby's like, we're not going to do this remodel. And if you remember, do you remember the moment we first saw the inside of the house on season 1? I was like, what? That is not Southfork. Where is that hideous parlor in that old dining room, right?
It's true. Well, it just looks so much smaller than how I remember it.
They gutted the hell out of that thing already. So, I mean, what's another remodel, right?
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with making it a little bit more opulent.
Yes.
It's the history of it that Bobby doesn't want to mess with. The history of the house.
They still have the yellow and white curtains outside or whatever, the awning.
But one thing that he says is very interesting. He also says that it grounds the family.
Yes.
They don't live that lavish lifestyle because this is what keeps them grounded. Like, it's just enough.
Okay. I know that he says that. Are the Ewings really grounded? I mean, let's be honest.
I think as grounded can be.
Right.
For their lifestyle, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not...
Fair enough.
I'd
be living opulently. Is that a word? Opulently? It is now.
Coined it.
Then we see Christopher for the first time this episode. I call him the angry wood chopper. He's going at it. He's got sawdust in his hair all over his sweaty shirt that's really tight.
He's got the mountain man beard and everything.
Yeah. Oh, he does, right? He does. And his hair's a little bit messy.
I mean, for 12 hours, let me tell you something.
I know.
He's got a full-on beard.
I'm like, how long has he been chopping that wood?
I know. I didn't even think about that. At the end of the season finale, he did not have a beard. And 12 hours later...
You know what they call that? A problem.
Yes. We always hail you at TNT for doing such great work with the show, but you missed the mark a little bit on this one, but we don't mind it.
I'm cool with it. I like to sweaty Christopher, and I've never looked at Jesse Metcalf that way.
He's looking good.
He's all right.
He's growing into his manliness. And I mean, I don't want him to get mad, but he really is. He's growing into Christopher the last 2 seasons was a boy.
Yeah.
And this opening scene with him, not so much
at all. And I think it shows again what they're trying to do this season. I saw this the last couple of months, seeing the billboards all over Los Angeles and all the teasers on television. They're trying to up the sex appeal this season, and they're doing a good job very quickly.
Well, even in the opening scene with John Ross, I mean, they do the whole pan from his feet all the way up in his underwear.
Okay, can we just say really quickly? I'm sorry, Andrea, I have to say it. Josh Henderson's ass is unreal for a white guy. For any guy. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. I have no problem with that.
But even with Emma, where did he find the deed, the paper he was looking for?
It was
stuck to her back.
Okay, can I just tell you something? And this might be TMI, but when he pulled that deed off her butt, and I was like, I have that underwear.
Me too. That is so weird. So weird. Anyways. So then we find Christopher, he calls Elena. She's not answering her phone. She wakes up to the phone vibrating. She looks like she's having a nightmare. She's struggling. But she's in a hotel in Mexico or something.
She's at Joaquin's house.
Yeah.
Yes, at Joaquin's in Mexico. And they do a series of flashbacks, and they show a bunch of meetings with her and Cliff Barnes. And essentially he says, look, flashing back to last season, JR stole the land from your dad. He switched the deeds. You guys drilled dry land for all these years, and your dad, he didn't just kill your dad. He took away his will to live. He did that to your entire family. So Cliff Barnes has a really good case here with Elena, and Elena is really struggling with what went down with her brother last season, knowing the father's history with the Ewings. And then she's also torn because her mother is so loyal to the Ewings because she feels like she owes them everything. Her mom's a bit naive, in all fairness, but she's sweet and she has good intentions. But he decides to make Elena the proxy, his proxy, because he still has 1/3 of Barnes Global, which is renamed Ewing Global. Not yet, but so he still has 1/3 of it. He names her proxy, correct?
Correct.
And asks her if she can handle it, if she's on board, if she can take down the Ewings.
The best way to manipulate a person is ask them if they can handle it and go at their pride.
Of course.
Well, but then the way she turns it around is because he's looking at it as revenge, and she's looking at it the opposite way, that it's justice for what happened to her family.
I thought that was a really, really poignant part of the episode. I'm glad you brought that up. That from justice is quite a motivator. Revenge isn't always. Revenge, you can get lost in revenge. Revenge it can bog you down. You can lose yourself in revenge, which has happened to Cliff Barnes and J.R. Ewing over and over and over throughout the years. But with Elena, as every strong woman knows, she takes a different approach, and she's like, justice. I'm seeking justice, and that can motivate you till the day you die.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty interesting.
I just think
You girls are you guys so tired right now?
No.
That can motivate you till the day you die. I give this long monologue, and you guys both go, yeah. Okay, moving on. It is. Look, this heat is putting us to sleep. Where's the air conditioning?
I know. I've been traveling all day. The heat's making me want to curl up and take a nap. No, but it justifies the action. So I think she's gonna hide behind that so she doesn't feel guilt.
Yeah.
And it's gonna help her to manipulate Christopher and use his guilt against him and the family too, by being super nice and just apologizing and just really playing on her vulnerable side that we've been seeing for the past 2 seasons.
Yeah. And Cliff makes a strong case because he tells her, he says, look, they framed me, and I can prove it. They moved my plane from Nuevo Laredo without me on it, and they planted a woman at that, or said that this woman saw him, the dancer that saw JR at the club, which she never really did. He's like, these things were all plants. They got
the gun from his gym locker.
Yeah, they stole the, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So she's
from
thinking.
the gun range, yeah.
At first, I'm like, okay. At the end of season 2, things were wrapped up pretty neat and tidy, right?
I mean,
very quickly, this episode, everything blew up. Everything blew up.
Yeah.
which makes sense.
Of course. But it's always interesting, though. I'm not a creative type of person, I don't think, at all. So I'm always like, oh, how are they going to do another season? The show's over, right? And I'm like, oh, I'll just move on. And that's not true for Dallas.
No.
At all. They come out guns a-blazing right out the gate.
Yeah, and I just think though, and when he was saying, and then looking at Cliff Barnes, him being once again in jail 12 hours later, we saw what he looked like.
I know.
And I was like, whoa, you're not gonna even, but 30 days you're gonna be dead, dude. 30 days, like not even a year, dude. You're not even gonna make 30 days. Because I was like, you look ragged, boy.
Well, he's already talking about getting out.
Yeah.
In 12 hours.
In 12 hours. It's quite the turnaround.
Yeah.
Whose job is it on set to make sure, for continuity's sake, what's the title? Yeah. Somebody should lose their job. No, I'm just kidding. We love you. We also love you because you finally, Dallas, you brought a new character to us. Annalyn McCord.
We got a couple new characters.
Yes, we do. Our first one would be Annalyn McCord playing the part of Heather, one of the ranch hands. I think this is perfect casting. There's something about her that is, it fits right into this cast. It just makes sense to me. She's a
feisty one.
Yes. And as we saw in 90210 for multiple seasons, and then I remember her from Nip Tuck. She was phenomenal on Nip Tuck.
I loved her on Nip Tuck because
she played like
evil.
Portia de Rossi's daughter or something, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was phenomenal on that show. And she's a different kind of hot. Does that make sense? Like, she's like skinny hot. Like, she's a skinny girl, but she's smoking hot for some reason.
She also, when I first saw her, at first I didn't realize it was.
Either did I.
And when she turned around and I was like, it took me a minute to realize it was her. Great on you, by the way, because normally she's all glammed up and hot and sexy.
Curly blonde hair.
And so, like, floating, not at all. She looks a little worn and torn. So, something.
As every good ranch hand looks.
Exactly. And, a good, hardworking woman. And it's just, when I was like, okay, this is going to work.
It shows some diversity on her part. She had a little bit of an accent, like the look and everything. It worked.
It did. And she was introduced automatically to Christopher, so there's obviously going to be something there.
Exactly.
This show needs, what the show needs? A good lesbian romance. There are a lot of hot girls on the show now. There's got to be, come on. It's 2014. There's got to be some lady on lady action, right?
Well,
I'm calling it right
Emma's
now.
a little crazy, so.
Emma, you know what? Oh, I'm calling it right now. Spoiler alert. This is not really a spoiler alert. I'm making it up. I'm going to call it Emma and Pamela at some point this season. Emma is that twisted that she will try to get in bed with Pamela.
Like a threesome.
No. Behind John Ross's back.
Oh, like no medication at Emma?
Yes, no medication, Emma. Hey, she can't be on medication now. I mean, she's nuts. Oh, Emma. You guys, my spoilers. I love them. All right, so Sue Ellen is speaking with John Ross, and she warns him not to underestimate Bobby. She also warns Bobby not to underestimate JR. She's my favorite character on the show. I just adore her.
And she's becoming now a voice of reason, which...
Who ever thought that would happen on this show?
Somebody's got to be.
Not in 1989,
Yeah.
like...
She spent the entire 80s boozing.
drinking with homeless people
Yeah.
out of a bag.
She's got to get it together because, now that JR's gone and she's kind of like in a similar situation with Bobby because she has to help kind of mend these generations together in a way that's going to work where they don't go at each other.
Interesting side note, this just makes me smile. I love how many times we've probably mentioned JR's name more than any other character, and he hasn't been on the show since midway through last season.
Yeah,
I know.
Oh, I love that guy.
Almost a year.
You can't let go.
I miss him. We miss you. So she also decides that she's going to plan a wedding for John Ross, a proper wedding for John Ross and Pamela, which is so weird to say still. What was it, Rebecca? Was it last season? Rebecca for half the season? Yeah, she's going to plan a proper wedding, and then she and the ladies all get together. They're sitting by the table out by the pool, and who comes to help?
Wait, is this before? Wait, am I getting my timelines wrong?
Am I going out of order? I might be.
Wait, no, where she catches John Ross coming out of
Oh,
Emma's.
that's later.
Oh, that's later.
okay.
That's later.
Okay,
Dorinda, not yet. No, the ladies are all planning this wedding, and then Emma walks by. She's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And Pamela shows her the ring. She lifts up her arm and shows her the ring with a broken finger. And Emma's like, "Oh, sure, I'd love to help."
Yeah.
You're a snake, Emma.
Yes.
Oh, because
Take your meds.
yeah, because
That's just so gross because it's so malicious.
Okay, once again, I want to ask you this question again. Do you have friends like that?
I've known people like that.
Okay. Dorinda got real quiet. Dorinda's like, I am that friend.
No, I have not. Unfortunately, I've known some of those people, and not fun people.
Yeah.
Because you really do think they are your friends, and then all of a sudden you're like, "What happened, Crazy Town?"
Yeah, they're fun when they live there at Southfork. Then they're fun.
That's what I always say. Crazy's always fun to watch from afar because
It's
that's
not
a
fun to
great show.
participate in that.
You don't want to ever be part of Crazy.
No.
Yeah, no crazy in this studio. Well.
That's a
So,
different story.
finally, Elena comes back while they're all outside, and she apologizes to the entire family. She apologizes in particular to Pamela and to Christopher. And then
She offers a profound apology.
Yes, a profound apology. That's bigger than a regular one.
Yes.
The regular ones don't mean shit, but this one's profound.
A profound apology.
Yeah, good stuff. That's good stuff. And then she and Christopher they chat for a little bit, and he wants her back. He wants her back in his life. She has a moment where I'm looking at her, I'm thinking, okay, she's falling for this. She wants to be back with him. And then she says, you know what, I think we just need a little bit of time apart. She's going to move out. He says, no, don't move out. This is your home too, so just go live on one of the ranch, her old ranch where she used to live, whatever, down the way. And she walks out of that room, and this was one of the strongest moments of the entire episode. She walks out of the room, and the look on her eyes, I know this look well. I've seen it on Young and the Restless for years. She walks out, and then the door closes, and she's got this.
Yeah, all of a sudden, the sad, vulnerable face goes away. It's straight face. She's got like the hardcore, determined look on her face.
That kind of broke my heart a little bit.
A little evil mixed in there.
A little bit.
Who would have thought that?
It surprised me.
Yeah, that she'd be the evil one, and that Pamela would be like the sweetheart right now. For now.
Well, because Pamela can't be so sweet forever.
Well, here's the thing about the show. Right now, all of the characters have blood on their hands. All the characters have made really questionable choices.
Yes.
You have to have some lovable characters. At some point, you have to have redeeming qualities. You can't just hate everybody because then you're not invested in anyone.
Right.
And right now, I don't know, are you really invested in any of these characters? Is there somebody you're really pulling for?
Well, here's the question. What do you think about Elena's motives? I mean, do you think that she's I think she's kind of justified.
Yeah.
Her family, it was underhanded, and they were robbed of the opportunity for anything.
But Christopher doesn't know that, and Bobby doesn't know that, and nobody alive knows that. So,
but you got to think though, coming from her point of view and where she's getting her information, and until she can get in, do you think they'd believe her anyway?
But she's now starting the same thing that the Barnes family and the Ewing family have gone through for decades.
But that's all she knows.
Yeah.
She's watched it.
But her brother killed his babies.
Not on purpose.
Yeah,
remember, he was blackmailed into that.
He was blackmailed.
Well, hey, are the babies dead? The babies are dead.
Well, it was either
hashtag
that
dead babies.
It was
No,
either
don't
that
hashtag ever.
That's not good.
But remember, it was either that or Elena getting killed.
Yeah.
Remember, it was kind of a one or the other. At least that's what he thought, because they were threatening him that way.
Well, if he hadn't been smuggling drugs in high heels, remember, or whatever, then he would have been put in that position.
They told him nobody would be on that rig. They told him that.
He got faulty information.
Yeah.
Which he should have went to that. There's 100 different ways it could go, but still, when you're trying to protect your family, and they're just doing it a different way what the Ewings always do, which is one thing that she says. They're punishing me for something they would have done themselves, which they did. I mean, they blackmailed
Dorinda, I don't think you
Cliff.
agree with her right now. What are you thinking, Dorinda?
I'm going to wait for my prediction.
Oh, okay. We'll move right along. So, Ewing Global, which is the new title of the combined company, it's buying all of the oil and methane rigs in the world, apparently. They're going to be bigger than BP and ExxonMobil combined.
They only need $500 million.
Yeah, that's all,
That's all you need? Only $500 million.
Yes, they say they need $500 million. That's Sue Ellen. She goes, is that all? Sue Ellen, come on. Really?
That's it.
She was getting
cake.
She was getting feisty last season for giving that $20 million loan to Elena. And she's not worried about $500 million now?
It's like, what's the big deal?
Come on, Sue Ellen. She needs a bottle of bourbon. Jeez. I want that Sue Ellen to come back for sure. And then Elena walks into Ewing Global and she asks for a job. She goes, I know I'm not a part of this company anymore, but I just like a job. And they say yes.
Well, the thing that I found really interesting about that is that, okay, they don't tell her what her job's going to be, but she automatically walks into the board of directors meeting.
Yes, and she gets a beautiful desk and access codes to everything, apparently, at Ewing Global. Because she's like typing in codes and pulling up files.
Well, it's probably her same codes that never changed.
Yeah.
Because it was only 12 hours later.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Okay. How do they change out the signage and like the marbling in the floor that said EG now? For Ewing Global? When did that happen?
No, but I think there was a little bit more time than just the 12 hours from when all of that started. Because remember when Cliff walks in and they, and all that happens, it had to have been at least a few days, I would think. I have to go back and
priorities. Way
Gotta get signage up.
Yeah, way to go, Ewing family.
Well, they were still, no, remember they opened up, they were still technically putting up the signs.
Yeah,
they were still kind of putting a little bit of stuff.
Yeah, that was their way of making that transition.
Yeah, okay.
Well done. So then we find...
you guys are a tough crowd.
I know. Well, you know what? I love the episode so much, but now as I'm adding it all up, I'm like, I'm adding 2 and 2 and getting 5 over and over again. Something's not working out for me. So then as they're in this board meeting, this man walks in, this kind of stunning, actually, looking man.
He's good looking.
Yeah, he's a good looking guy. Nicholas Trevino. Yeah? Yes. There's a little thing above the end, so I know that's how you say it.
Dallas. Good for you.
Yes.
Because women need some candy.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Dorinda, you look like you have bourbon in your glass. Easy, Sue Ellen. So he says that he was named Cliff Barnes' proxy. And the look on Elena's face is just confusion and a little bit of fear when she hears that. Why was she in the room at that point?
Well, she has to keep, because we find out as soon as she gets hired and she's copying those files and being all sneaky, she calls Cliff, remember, and says, I'm in.
Yes.
So we know she's got to play the innocent one. She has to make it seem like she's on their side.
Well, she's like an office clerk. Why is she in the boardroom again?
Well, apparently she's not. She has more pull, I guess. I don't know. That was my question.
This would never happen on the Young and the Restless.
But she, at first for a second, I was like, oh, wait a minute, is Cliff trying to pull one over on her?
Yes.
Because she did like a really good surprised facial expression.
Yes, which we didn't see all of season 1, Botox, but we see it all the time now. I'm really happy with her acting ability this season.
Yes.
I really have no idea what to think of her right now.
I know.
Which I love.
I think she's a loose cannon.
Yes.
For sure.
And this is good because before there was other times that she would do, like even last season, like when they were in the hotel room in Paris. Is that where they were at? And you're just like, ugh. I was kind of like done with her in a way.
Yeah.
Because she was more whiny and complaining and wasn't seeing the sides of everything.
Well, you know what's funny? I feel like the complaints I have about Dallas every season, on the season premiere of the next season, they always fix them. I think they actually pay attention to the viewers. We have a lot of influence on them here at AfterBuzz TV, clearly, and I think that they take the notes and they adjust and they write. The writing's better. She's a better actress than she was 2 seasons ago. So is Jesse Metcalfe. Josh Henderson is leaps and bounds above what he was.
Yeah, and I think that was all them now growing into their character. Well, definitely the two men and Pamela character growing into them, and Jordana Brewster, her character, just growing into who they are.
Because they've all been like teenage type actors and young actors, but these roles have some meat to them.
I mean, I just saw an ABC Family movie with Josh Henderson in it, and it was so bad. So bad.
By definition, aren't all ABC Family movies pretty bad?
Yeah, but they're awesome.
Was this one still kind of awesome?
It was still awesome, yeah. Anything with Tom Arnold in it is awful and awesome at the same time.
Well, that's the end of our show. No.
No, but this is really giving him a chance to show what he can do.
Yeah.
You know, from...
And it has to be probably kind of intimidating the first couple of seasons. You're like these young kids with like these legacy characters who've been doing these roles for so many years. Who are also bringing their A games, and I think
that's
all better actors.
On the flip side of that, I think that Bobby's really holding his own with those young kids, and it still fits, still makes sense. He doesn't look like he doesn't belong. He actually looks.
He's not like the old guy trying to be cool.
Exactly. No.
He's just cool. I think he's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think my only complaint with this episode is not having enough Anne.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is she not grabbing shotguns off the wall again and chasing people out the front door like season 1?
We need that, that shotgun shooting Anne back.
Yes.
Well, I like how she didn't really like Pamela's ring, it seemed. She kind of thought it was a little too much. Like she kind of,
ostentatious. Somebody's been reading a dictionary.
Yeah, right?
She wasn't all, she was,
well, I think Anne, she knows what it was like to be with a man like Ryland and also with a man like Bobby. And Ryland is a little bit more ostentatious. Look at how she and Judith. What's her real name? I call her Judith all the time. Judith Light.
Yeah.
Whatever her.
If anybody out there, if
tweet
you could
us.
tweet us and remind, because I want to say it's Judith, but it's not Judith.
Not Judith. That's her real name in real
Yeah,
life.
I know.
I
Who's the boss?
We're gonna have to figure it out. Or is Marissa looking it up for us? Marissa, can you look it up on a computer?
Judith, what was it?
Judith Light. Her character's name on Dallas. And we'll come back to that.
I shall look that up.
So, Nicholas Trevino lets them know that that while corporate law says that they can sell off parts of their company and do whatever they need to do, Ewing Global, state law requires a supermajority.
Judith Ryland. Sorry.
It is Judith also?
It is Judith.
It is Judith. Okay, then I'm not crazy.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, I am still crazy. But they need a supermajority in order to sell off parts of the company to make this deal go through and whatever. And Nicholas Trevino has a third. If he has a third, right, that leaves 67% out there. What is a supermajority? That sounds pretty super to me.
If he has a yeah, you're right, 67.
Wow. You are something. Okay. Anyways,
We should obviously not be doing percentages in this room.
yeah, no way. Well, they start looking this guy up and they find out he's a Mexican billionaire. He sold part of his company back in like 2005 to Barnes Global for $800 million. These numbers don't add up for me. I mean, come on.
And you only need half a billion.
Right?
It just sounds so low.
Oh, I don't like the show anymore. No, I love it. I'm kidding. Why did I write down no loose ends? Oh, that scene.
Bobby.
Yes. So now there's pressure, right? And Christopher and John Ross and Bobby are all in the room together, and Christopher's like, I'm doing what Christopher does best. He freaks out, right? Dad, fix things. And he asked him if there were any loose ends, because they're the only three who know what really happened. They're the only ones who really know them, and then Bum, and also
Carlos.
Yeah, they're the ones who know they did set up JR. Sue Ellen and the ladies, they don't know anything about this.
They set up Cliff.
Yeah, women's brains can't handle that sort of information.
Oh, because they would
Tweet me. I'm kidding. So
because they would turn on Bobby no matter what.
Yeah.
And they can't have that.
Yeah. So they're trying to make sure there are no loose ends, and Bobby assures them that there are not any loose ends. Of course there are. Somebody's
there
going to
always
buy off
is.
Carlos or bomb or something.
Yeah.
Something
Well,
will happen.
also like the flight manifest. There's got to be some
Yes.
camera, something. There's
Yes.
got to be something, or the stripper's gonna turn, or something.
Strippers always turn. If there's one thing I've learned in my experiences, it's that strippers always turn. Don't trust a stripper.
Got a point on that.
Dorinda, you're on fire tonight. So, then we go back to the Emma. I want to talk about the Emma and Pamela relationship for just a moment. Emma is sitting at hashtag Emma. Emma is sitting at her tablet, provided by Windows and Microsoft, and she's sitting there typing to John Ross, saying that what time are you coming home? And as she's doing that, Pamela walks in the door, and so she deletes everything and sits there, and they have a moment together. And Pamela's really sweet, and Pamela's like, "Look, how are you feeling? If you ever need to talk, I'm here for you," which I thought was so adorable, and I thought it was getting through to Emma for just a moment. What are you thinking? Did you think that Pamela meant it?
No.
Oh, really? Do you think Pamela knows? I wondered that too, and I kind of go back and forth.
Well, because you remember in the boardroom when John Ross comes and he's talking about
Yes.
the transport, and he said, "I made a deal with the new CEO that they couldn't refuse." And, I made sure I locked in that deal. They cut to Pamela, and she has this, gives, this look where she just kind of smiles.
So do you think then that Pamela is just turning a blind eye, or do you think she's in on it? Do you think she just knows what's happening and she's cool with it?
I definitely do not think she's in on it.
Okay.
I think she suspects, but I don't think she would be cool with it.
Dorinda looks confused. What do you have to say, Dorinda?
Okay, or she could be like a politician's wife.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking.
Do not talk about Hillary Clinton that way.
There you go.
Oh, you weren't going there? I'm sorry. I love you, Hillary.
I was talking more Claire
Oh, okay.
of
okay.
House of Cards.
Perfect. Oh.
I took a personality test the other day.
I got Frank Underwood.
I got Claire.
Oh, perfect. We're going to get married. Have sex with other people. Okay. So, yeah. Interesting. I'm curious to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, I really think that she knows, and I think that she does, like those little innuendos that Emma was throwing out, like, it's so great to have you both right across the hall. Like, she's not dumb.
Yeah.
Like, she knows.
No, and here's the thing that we know about Pamela: she's not stupid.
No.
Look at how she came to be.
Exactly. I think she's going to let him think he's getting away with something he's not getting away
Yes.
with. And she's going to put that in her pocket and hold it off for when she needs it later.
I think she's definitely smarter than John
Yeah.
Ross.
Yeah.
Because I think that they really want to pair their relationship off as the J.R. Sue Ellen relationship.
Yes.
And I see where it's going, and I love it because
do too.
a lot of people never really got to see their relationship. If you're watching this and you didn't watch the old Dallas, and they're really as combative as was, as passionate as was,
Yeah.
as much as they hated each other was as much as they loved each other. There was
Yeah.
never like. It was very schizophrenic in ways, but it was still a great relationship you loved to watch.
Absolutely. Sue Ellen was the lady that JR could never shake, and he didn't really want to.
No.
Yeah.
He did when he felt like it, then he wanted her back, and then it was always, and she felt the same way, I think.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I love that Emma then sends a new message on her tablet to John Ross. She said, "I'm being bad. I want you to come be bad with me."
And he does.
That's all it takes, really, to send him that message.
In the same house across the hall.
Well, yeah, he comes home and
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
that's hot to me.
It's
Josh Henderson,
What?
I'm just going to say, was not happy at that moment. I was not happy at that
Yeah.
moment. Listen,
Well-
you can be despicable and charming at the same time, but when your wife's next door,
I mean, that's taking it to a whole other
You
level.
know, she had like
those walls need to
a
be
glass
thick.
up against the door listening. She's probably a freak like that.
Well, then that goes back to what you're talking about. When he's walking out of the... And then not only
Oh,
that,
yes.
there's no shame. Like, he has no shame because they're in the doorway with the door open. He's half in the hall, and he's kissing her. When Pamela could have walked out, anybody could have walked up, and we see Sue Ellen kind of walk up on them.
Yeah, and I she saw it, but I think she convinced herself really quickly that she didn't see it. And I'm curious to see how those relationships sort of play out because she and Anne have a really great relationship, and that's obviously Anne's daughter, so that's interesting. She has her son's back in every which way, but she also knows what it's like to be on the other side of it and to get played the way that Pamela is now being played.
Yes.
And she went through that for years. It made her drink. It made her suicidal. It made her all kinds of things. And it's interesting. I'm curious to see how Sue Ellen responds to that in the
Well,
coming
we see
episodes.
from the previews that she's going to have him followed.
Yeah. Oh, wait. That was in the previews?
wait,
How
how
did I
did I
miss
see
that?
Yeah, for the next episode, Sue Ellen's going to have him... I think she was asking Bum to follow John Ross.
If you want to switch seats, you should be over here. Obviously, I missed that part.
So, I mean, obviously I don't think that I think she didn't want to get into it with him. That's why she backtracked really quick. But then before her conversation was over, she brought it up again. Wasn't that Emma's room? And she let him explain whatever she was going to explain, but she knows what she saw. And that's why I think she's going to have him followed. And the next episode are coming up, and we're going to see what she does with that.
It blows my mind how, like I said, how wrapped up everything was the last episode and how crazy everything is this episode.
It's all unraveling.
And I don't know where anybody stands right now. Everybody keeps making their comments about we're better united, we're better as a family, we're better working together. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's got something on somebody and everybody's playing somebody else, and it's so it's a tangled web.
Well, you know how last season we talked to about the great one-liners that like, JR always had? I thought that Sue Ellen had a good one tonight when she was telling John Ross, not to underestimate Bobby, and she says that he has a steel hand and a velvet glove.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And I thought that was a good one.
I have no idea what
and
it means, but it was great.
I'm
kidding.
I think that's going to play out. I think that's going to play out later with this whole drilling situation.
Yes. Well, because John Ross wants to frack.
Yep.
Frack away, John Ross, please.
But it's such a bad idea on so many levels. Such a bad, and they bring it up. People are going to lose their jobs. The cattle. That's not, because that's the land that the cattle is on. And
what will happen to Heather?
Well, exactly.
Anna Lynn McCord.
Exactly.
Where will she work?
And the number one thing, Miss Ellie.
Yeah. Oh, it always comes back to Miss Ellie.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We were Kelly and I watched this episode together tonight, and because you watched it earlier, but we were laughing because I said it is so crazy to me that season after season after season, the whole "you're not going to drill this land because Miss Ellie said no" that storyline comes up over, but it's always fresh somehow.
Yeah.
And nostalgic.
Now it's like the surface. It's not just the minerals. Now it kind of has come up, so now it's part of the surface, right?
Yeah, because initially Bobby said that you needed he and also Gary to sign off on this, and then John Ross says, actually, it's come to the surface, so I do not need you. Yeah. So we'll see.
And Elena in the middle there saying, I want to do whatever you want to do. I'm going to help you get those leases because that's the Holy Grail. And she just wants to divide them, obviously.
That's her arc.
So.
It's her arc.
It's her arc.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, this I love the show. We already talked about that. Let's not move on from that. Finally, Harris Ryland. He comes into the episode.
Yep.
I was hoping.
Once again.
I was afraid that I know he's out of prison already.
Everybody's out of prison,
and he looked like he'd been there for months.
Yes.
When he was in there,
he looked haggard.
It might have been a couple of days, maybe. Did he go in the same night?
I don't know.
We left off.
These people could not hack it 24 hours
at all. He rolled out of there in his Simon Cowell t-shirt. Whenever I see men of a certain age wear like t-shirts like that fit them a little too tight, Simon Cowell. That's what it reminded me of. So he's out. Mexican drug lords got him out. Who do you call when you're stuck in prison? Mexican drug lords.
Well, they need their transportation. They need their shipments.
Yes. So they need him to now, within 24 hours, ship their drugs. Probably not in high heels this time. That didn't work out so well last time, but whatever. So
they also threaten Emma.
Yes, they show a picture of Anne and Emma together and threaten to go after her, which I think still holds quite a bit of weight with him. Even though she did him in and she's the reason he's in prison, kind of. Yeah. He's the reason he's in prison, but I think that it's still his baby girl, and I think he wants to make things right, and it probably drives him crazy that she's living with Anne. Yeah, and also, okay, this is my sick way of looking at it. I still think he has a thing for Anne. Yes, and I agree with you. And so, because when they showed, he was talking about his daughter, and then they're like, oh, and this, and then showed the picture of Anne and his daughter, he got even more freaked out. You know what I missed most in the off season? What? Hearing you say daughter. I missed it. I really did. Daughter. Every so often it does come out. Daughter. Now it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Well, I was thinking too that the threat was on both of them. Yes, so did I. Because he was saying that he was going to torture Emma, and I thought when he pulled out the picture to make Anne want to kill herself, because remember when she almost did. Anne was going to break her down. Anne will sleep with Harris Ryland this season. It'll happen. You think? Yeah. Somehow. That's a prediction. There will be some sort of a turn that will send her back to him. Because it almost happened last season. They had a rocky patch for a while. She lied to him. I think that something will happen this season that will send her back to Ryland at some point. He's got to be more involved this season than just like the bad guy in the corner.
Because here's the thing, he has something to lose. So I think, this is what I think, the sides will change a little bit.
Yes.
And I think he's going to go to the good side, not necessarily because he's good. It's necessary what's going to keep him alive and what's going to keep his family alive.
I think that he will team up with Elena. Oh, let's just, you know, why don't we, first of all, before we go to predictions, I think we should just do that. But the big reveal at the end of the episode, Joaquin and Trevino, same person.
Yes.
I knew, as soon as you saw him turn around in the board meeting, I was like, that's Joaquin.
Yeah? I had no idea.
But
well, and he's part of their family, the little kid that Elena's family took in and was raised by her dad. And he's also got some compound in Mexico. So I'm wondering if the drug lords that got Ryland out are the same.
I'm sure.
As if it's the same cartel or if it's different, if they're going to play on each other.
I don't know, but real quick before we even get into that, I just want to say about product placement.
Oh, yeah,
Everywhere.
the Hornitos vodka, tequila.
Let's have some tequila.
But how many times did you guys see product placement? There was the Omni Hotel.
Yes,
there
over
was,
and over again.
Yeah, there was Hornitos, and then there was one other one that I saw.
Microsoft,
yeah. Well, the Windows. There was a bunch.
Just to clarify really quickly, for those of you who aren't big tequila drinkers, nothing against Hornitos. It's fantastic tequila. If you've got that kind of money, you've got a compound, you are not drinking Hornitos. I mean, are you seriously?
You are not. No, you are not.
At least like splurge for some Patron or something.
No, you're drinking like the good mezcal that's like going down like cognac, you know. And there's some like there's some really good
like those crazy amount of money bottles of tequila.
Yeah. You're not. No.
You're drinking the expensive.
You're making it in your backyard. You're making your own.
Yeah.
You got your own private.
You got your own agave plant.
I mean, they've got the J.R. Ewing, Scott bourbon. So he's got to have his own tequila.
Yeah. I need to get a hold of a bottle of that. I'm a bourbon guy. I like bourbon. All right, so wrap up this episode. I think we should go into predictions because we have some good ones.
Yeah.
Oh.
And now your AFTERBUZZ TV.
Oh wow.
That's happening.
Area 51 here.
Ladies, I'm gonna let you start, Dorinda.
I think Elena's getting played. I think that she's the pawn in all of their plans, except for the Ewings. And what you're really going to find out is, I personally think that Cliff Barnes and Joaquin are teamed up together. And you're really going to find out those deeds really are, the deeds are not as real as we think they are.
I can't deal with you. You took all my predictions. I really think almost all of that.
I really agree too.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's your picture.
What?
Oh my God, wait.
You look fierce in that picture. That's hot. And look at his eyes. Let's take a moment of silence for Josh Henderson's eyes. Wow.
Sure.
Oh my God.
No, I think the same thing. I think that this Mexican drug cartel that got Ryland out is also attached to Trevino and Joaquin, and is working with Cliff Barnes. And I think that somehow Elena is a pawn. And I think this season what we're going to see is Ryland is going to turn into a good character for the season. Yeah. He's going to look like a good character, like he's trying to be noble and help Elena while he's probably really trying to stab her in the back. He's trying to help her save her father's name, and whatever, bring back his legacy, whatever.
Right.
And in that process, the Ewings are going to be divided. Sue Ellen's going to start drinking again. Emma's going to be on pills again. Anne is going to feel lost and distraught and go running back to Ryland because he's going to look like the good guy. When all along, Bobby will be kind of the good guy, and eventually she'll make her way back to him. But I think that she will go into Ryland's arms at some point this season. She needs a spicy... Last year, they didn't use Anne near enough last year.
Why does she have to cheat? Why does she have to cheat to be spicy, AJ?
Well, I mean, it's the show. I mean, the show is a spicy show. I think it's going to happen.
Can somebody not cheat? Can one person not cheat?
Well, maybe they'll get divorced. Like they said, Sue Ellen goes, "You want to be the first woman to get married on the Southfork Ranch multiple times." She said that to Pamela. So maybe Anne and Bobby will get a divorce this season.
Maybe.
Maybe. I guess you guys are going to
Maybe
have to tune
she'll
in.
find out about the blackmail or some, all of that.
It's too much. It's too much to wrap my brain around, you guys. My brain is not that big, but I love this show, so we're going to keep coming back and covering it all season long. Before we head out, where can all of our viewers find you on social media?
Oh, you can find me at Kellie with an IE 079.
And then you can find me at Twitter at Lula Cherry Films. And then you can find me on Instagram at Dorinda B1.
You can find me on all social media at _AJ Gibson. My website is ajgibson.tv. Until next week.
Which is a great website, by the way.
Thank you.
I really do
I
like
appreciate that. Thank you guys for being here and stick with us all season long. We have a really fun season ahead of us. Hopefully get some really great guests in here.
Yes.
But until next week, take care, y'all.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz y'all later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.